Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be giving you some of my tips on what to do when you have a goal of fat loss. These are just things I picked up on my journey and now are things that I recommend to people who come to me what to do when they have that goal in mind. So yeah, it's just stuff that will make your journey a lot more enjoyable and not something that you feel like you can't wait for it to be over, because no one should be going on a diet that they hate. You don't have to do keto, you don't have to do the 5-2 diet, you don't have to do a cabbage soup diet, you don't have to do any of that. So yeah, I've got 6 points, 6 little tips that I think will help a lot of you who think you have to do something crazy and not eat the food you love in order to get to your goals. That's not true. So yeah. Okay, so my first tip is to make your calorie deficit a small one to begin with. So many people will drop their calories to a silly amount like 1200, 1500, which is not enough calories for an adult. To start a fat loss journey as well, you don't want to lower it a crazy amount, because when you do plateau, you will have nowhere to go from there. So when we're starting our fat loss journey, we want to start with a very small deficit. So that's around 15% while we start. It's trial and error, so you need a week to at least to see how your body is responding to it, but 15% deficit to start with at the very least. So around 100 to 200 calories below maintenance, just to see how your body gets used to it. I normally go for like 150 below maintenance to start with. But yeah, this will allow you to still eat a good amount of food, not feel so hungry and not feel like it's such a big change, which a lot of the times when people drop their calories a crazy amount, it's so hard to stick to it. So you end up binging or just thinking, oh, I'll have a cheat meal, it's fine. You don't have to do that. So yeah, keep the calories as high as possible while still being in a deficit. That's the best way to go about your fat loss journey, because we don't want to be eating this crazy little amount. We want you to still have energy, be able to get your workouts in, to feel good, to be able to have a social life at the same time. You don't have to do a 1200 calorie diet to get to your goals, I promise. So yeah, that's tip number 1, small deficit please. So tip number 2 is increase your NEAT. So NEAT stands for non-energy activity thermogenesis. That just means any activity that you haven't planned as exercise. So steps. We've probably seen it everywhere by now, but 10k steps is a good number to aim for, especially if whatever you're doing consistently now is below it. So yeah, it's an easy way to up your energy levels without having to do cardio or something you don't enjoy, and it means that you're upping energy output, so you don't need to bring your food down anymore, which is a great thing, because if you're like me, you love food, then we love not having to lower the calories. So yeah, it's an easy thing, anyone can walk. I would say whatever you're doing consistently now, add 2,000 more on. If you feel like you've hit a bit of a plateau after cutting calories, add 2,000 more on, go from there. It's a great way to up energy output. It's not hard, and yeah, it's pretty easy. So that's a big one, is just up those steps, be consistent, and you'll start seeing progress. So tip number 3 is to volume eat. All this means is incorporating foods into your diet that are high volume, low calories. So this means that you can have a lot of it for very little calories. So that's obviously your fruit and your veg, and they are also very high in fibre, so it'll help you feel fuller for longer. So put a lot of veg on your plate while you're having a meal to help add to the fullness, so that one, you're not going hungry in the day, because it's horrible being hungry while on a diet, because you're telling yourself you can't eat something and your body wants it. So yeah, fill that plate up with greens, reds, you know, eat the rainbow sort of thing. Fill it full of veg, and that will really help, because you can have a lot of fruit and veg for very little calories, as opposed to something like chips or stuff that's a higher calorie dense food that you can't really have a lot of. So yeah, fill that plate up with the fruit and veg that you like. Don't try and make yourself eat fruit and veg you don't like. You don't have to do that. Just find the stuff you do like, find the way you like to cook it. I know for me it was a lot of trial and error. I still hate salads. I've figured out that the way I like veg is if it's like sauteed, so it's not crunchy anymore, because I don't like crunchy veg. So that's what I do. Find what works for you and what you enjoy, because that's the main thing about a diet, is you have to enjoy it. It shouldn't be a process that you hate, because it's going to be hard to stick to, and that's the problem, is this sticking to it. If you can't stick to it for forever, you shouldn't be doing it. That's why I hate keto, because a diet should be something that you can stick to consistently. So this is why I say don't cut out foods you love, because it's part of enjoying life is enjoying the food too, so you don't need to do that. But yeah, find what you like, what works for you, and it'll really help if you can bulk out your meals with the high volume foods, especially if you've been dieting a while and you've plateaued, so you need to bring those calories down a little bit more. Just keep adding lots of fruits and veg, and the fibre obviously will help. So yeah, tip number 3 is add all the fruits and veg you can to your meals, obviously making sure you enjoy it. So tip number 4 is to eat your protein. Now I say this because so many people don't realise how important protein is as a macro. So out of our macros we've got carbs, fats and protein is one of the most important, because when we go to the gym and we train, what we're doing is breaking down those muscle fibres. So in order to build them up better and recover, you need to make sure you're eating enough protein for your body. The reason we do this is obviously to build muscle, and that muscle is what gives you that toned look that you're after, so you're not looking soft, you have big shoulders, you know. We want to build muscle, so in order to do that you need to eat enough protein, and so many people underestimate how much is enough for them. So I recommend around 1.8 grams per kilo of body weight. So find out how much you weigh, times it in your calculator, sorted, put it into whatever it is you're tracking. So MyFitnessPal, if you're not tracking, just make sure you have a good amount of protein per every meal. So stuff like chicken breast, turkey, beef, low-fat beef, eggs, egg whites, Greek yogurt, stuff like that is full of protein, full of goodness, and we need it because it helps us recover and build that muscle that we need. So many people undereat it, so make sure you're getting enough in, because not only will it help you give you that look that you want for your body aesthetically, it's a great macro for keeping you satiated. So if you're picking a lean source of protein, you can have a lot for a good amount of calories, and it will help keep you full for longer. So I can't stress it enough, make sure you're eating your protein. If you struggle knowing what foods have protein, Google. It's great if you Google what foods have protein. You can get one of those little things up that'll show you like a list of these are great foods with protein in, and a lot of them also tell you how many calories are in it. Yeah, so I can't stress it enough, eat your protein please. So tip number 5 is to not cut out the foods you love. I say this because a lot of people will be like, right, I'm going on a diet, meaning I can't eat chocolate or biscuits or cake. You can eat whatever you want as long as you're in a calorie deficit. Now obviously there are foods that have more nutrients and foods that have less nutrients. Focus on getting the stuff with the goodness in first, so like your fruit and veg, your protein, stuff like that, carbs for energy. Focus on that stuff first, and then the calories you have left over, of course you can fit the foods you love in. I will say, if you love stuff like chocolate bars that have a lot of calories in it, there are so many swaps out there today. You can find a lower calorie option. So if you're someone who loves to have biscuits with tea, because that's lately I have been a biscuit fiend when I have a cuppa, so if you're someone like me, There are those share bags. I've been getting the mini Maryland cookie ones. They're like 99 calories a bag. I have one of them in my tea, sorted, as opposed to one digestive is 80 calories. So be smart and make swaps for lower calorie things. So if you like brownies, those Fibre One brownie bars, I've yet to find anything better than them. 90 calories ish, I think it's like 87 or something, and you get 5 grams of fibre in it. They're amazing. There are so many swaps out there today to help you make a better, smarter choice about what to fit in your diet when you're in a deficit. You don't have to deprive yourself anymore. You can have what you crave, you can fit it into your calories and help yourself reach your goals without being miserable. So please don't be someone who cuts things out, who goes cold turkey because you think, oh, I can't have a chocolate bar because I'm dieting. You can fit it in. It's fine, the world won't end because you've eaten chocolate. Calorie deficit is how we lose fat, how we lose weight is through that. So you can eat whatever you want as long as you're in a deficit. But like I said, if all you're eating is chocolate or foods without a lot of nutrients in your deficit, you're not going to feel great. So prioritize nutrient dense foods first, get your protein in, and then just fit what you're craving in with the rest of your calories. It's doing it this way that'll help it be more sustainable, more enjoyable. And obviously if we're going through a fat loss phase and we want to keep that fat off, the process that you use has to be a process that is sustainable after your diet has ended. And yes, I've said ended because no one should be on a diet forever. There should be an end point where you're like, right, I'm happy where I'm at, time to build these calories back up and get to a sustainable level. So I feel like I'm out of breath because I said that so quick, but it's just really, really infuriating that people out there now still think in order to lose fat they have to cut out the foods they love, when it's just not true. You don't have to be miserable, you don't have to cut carbs, you don't have to cut sugar, you just have to be smart about the decisions you make. Everything in moderation and you will be fine. You will get your goals, you'll be happy, you will be fine, I promise. So tip number 6 is to lift weights. You should be doing a resistance training program because when we build muscle, we burn more calories at rest than we would with less muscle. So what that means is the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn doing nothing. When it comes to cardio, you have to be consistently doing that cardio forever if you want to maintain the results you got doing it. With resistance training, it is the same, yes, but you can take time off and still maintain the results you got, because muscle is quite hard to lose, especially if you've been lifting a long time and you're eating enough protein. So yeah, it helps with sustaining the results. It keeps you healthy, it gives you stronger bones, it's fun. And for me, I hated cardio, so it was sort of I found my passion in weightlifting. So maybe some of you will. Just give it a go if you haven't tried it already. I promise you it's not as scary as it seems. And if you are scared of the gym, you don't need to be. Everyone is there for themselves. I know our little voices in our heads can be like, they're looking at you, they're judging you. Nobody is, I promise. So give it a go. Like, there's plenty of workouts that you can do from home while you get used to the movements. So try and get comfy with that first if you really are that scared of the gym. But yeah, please, please, please just try resistance training. You'll be so surprised at how it can change your body in shape, in health, with your mind. It can. I will just sing the praises for weightlifting for as long as I can. So please just give it a go. It saved me and it saved a lot of people I know, helped them reach their goals. So yeah. So my camera just died and I don't know what it cut in the middle of me saying, so I'm hoping it got everything. But yeah, those are my 6 tips to help your weight loss phase not suck. Yeah, you don't need to cut calories really short. You can eat the foods you still love, and eat your protein. That's the main takeaways from this. So I hope this was helpful to some of you. I know I wish someone had told me some of this stuff when I started, so yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!